On or around January 27th, Selena Gomez, popular pop music musician, posted a video of her crying for the people who are to be victims of the Trump administration's mass deportation plans. Here is the video.
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
This video was apparently so subversive, so inappropriate, that the United States government responded with their own video of people crying.
What about our children who were brutally murdered and raped and beat to death?
I just want to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children.
Seeing that video, it's hard to believe that it's actually genuine and real because she's an actress.
You don't know who you're crying for. What about our children who were brutally murdered and raped and beat to death and left on the floor by these illegal immigrants?
I just feel like it's a ruse to deceive people and to garner sympathy for lawlessness.
I wish I could do something, but I can't.
My daughter was a child. There's many other children whose lives were taken due to people who crossed here illegally.
They didn't cry for our daughters.
No one has stood up except for us mothers to cry out about our children.
I am so happy that Trump won. I am so glad that this is one of the first bills to help with immigration.
It's only been 2 weeks, if that, since he's been in office, and he's taking accountability and he's making moves and he's making things happen.
President Trump genuinely cares for the American people, and he cares for the American family.
I truly appreciate everything Donald Trump has done.
We stand with President Trump in making America safe again.
What a lot of people may think when they watch this is something like, wow, tensions sure are high. Everyone is hurting. I'm not sure who to believe. Surely murder is a worse crime than relocating someone against their will. Maybe the deportations are justified and this celebrity is overreacting, or acting, or is actually just pro-murder and rape. But all I think when I see this video is, wow, the White House is producing Nazi propaganda. Study after study has confirmed that immigrants, regardless of their legal status, commit crime at lower rates than their native-born counterparts. A single story, or even 3 single stories of an immigrant committing a horrible crime doesn't say anything about the wider immigrant community. Frankly, this is just outright bigotry. Here is a chart from an article by the Stanford Institute for Economic Policy Research comparing the incarceration rates of white U.S.-born men to immigrants regardless of their legal status. An analysis by U.S. Census data by SIEPR senior fellow Ran Abramitsky and his collaborators shows immigrants have had similar or lower incarceration rates than white U.S.-born men for the last 140 years of American history. The article continues to say, what's more, comparing the imprisonment of Mexican and Central American immigrants to that of white males born in the United States based on education tells a different story, according to Abramitsky. Men without a high school degree are the group most likely to be incarcerated for criminal activity, but Mexican and Central American immigrants with low levels of education, which comprise a large share of immigrants from this region, are significantly less likely to be incarcerated than U.S.-born men with similarly low levels of education. The easiest, least offensive way I could describe how dumb anti-immigrant bigotry works is this. Think of a school shooter. Now imagine that the White House used 3 of those school shooter stories to prove that actually, school children are cold-blooded psychotic murderers, and all of them should be punished. Imagine they brought in the parents of the victims, people who you don't want to get into a political argument about dead children with, and had these people make the argument. The argument isn't compelling. The compelling part is the real emotional pain that these people are feeling, and the pressure to agree with them or be socially ostracized. In Karthik Narayanaswamy's analysis of Nazi propaganda, a behavioral study, the author describes how Nazis, quote, found it effective to translate their ideological notions into narrative events which always depicted an oversimplified good versus evil outlook parlayed over us versus them scenarios, easily accessible and understood by mass audiences. The study continues. By exploiting existing stereotypes and the sentiments of the German people, Nazi propaganda sought to target those whom it considered to be an enemy or unworthy of being a citizen. Jews, Roma, and Sinti, homosexuals, communists, and other political dissidents, and those Germans who were viewed as inferior and detrimental to creating a strong Germany, such as people with mental or physical disabilities. In addition, these themes were also used in the arguments for Lebensraum, or living space, for Germany's expansionist plans to create a bigger, stronger Germany. Here is a propaganda poster of Hitler and the accompanying quote. In the above poster, one cannot help but notice the appearance of light around Hitler, almost giving him a halo. Furthermore, the presence of a winged bird lends angelic characteristics to the poster, and this is only enhanced by the presence of wreath-like flowers around the poster. These are designed to trigger a few key responses in the viewer, most notably the halo effect, a social bias where the perceived qualities of the portrayed individual spill over into other areas of their personality. In addition, the authoritative stance and the determined shepherd-like portrayal of someone leading the people aim to trigger the authority bias, wherein there is a favorable response to authority on ambiguous stimulus. To me, this brings to mind modern AI depictions of Donald Trump. I suggest everyone read the study, but I'm going to end this piece with a final quote. There are two primary types of portrayal of the Jews that were oddly at contrast, but aimed at achieving the same objective. Jews were either portrayed as seedy, degenerate, ugly masses associated with vermin, or they were portrayed as greedy, fat, and unpleasant elements who sided with the enemy. There is a reason why the Nazis chose such a portrayal, and why this even worked in the first place. By picking only relatively unpleasant-looking Jewish attributes, and by choosing to portray Jews in only an unpleasant manner, the Nazis applied selection bias to elicit several other cascading biases. By taking advantage of the negativity bias inherent in human nature, wherein we pay more attention to negative images, the Nazis succeeded in associating Jews with those unpleasant mental images. This created a clustering illusion, where people were conditioned to see unpleasantness in the Jewish population when there was none present. Doing so, particularly in combination with the Nazi portrayal of the non-Jewish Aryan German as a superior individual, helped perpetuate just that, a superiority bias. This, in turn, created an environment of self-serving bias, of behavioral confirmation, where all responsibility for the success of Nazi Germany was claimed by the Germans, and the blame for all failures were laid on the Jewish population. Be under no illusions. Trump is the modern Hitler. There are no doubts about that at this point. The only question now is how effective his propaganda will be in warping the minds of the American public. Thank you for watching.